Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, this one's going to be a fun one. I'm going to talk about 3 cartridges that I don't own that I really want, and kind of to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. One person asked me, what are your favorite cartridges that aren't Magnums? So all 3 of these are not Magnums. And then someone critiqued me the other day saying that I don't like any cartridges that I don't own or any cartridge that isn't a Weatherby cartridge. Well, all 3 of these I don't own, and none of them are Weatherby cartridges. So here it is. 3 cartridges I hope to have someday that I really like. Now, we're not going to go in any particular order of how I want them or when I want them. So let's start with this guy. This is a 308 Winchester. Yeah, that might surprise you. I'm actually a huge fan of 308 Winchester. Not so much as a hunting cartridge, which I think it's totally fine for deer. And if you limit yourself in distance with elk, yeah, it's fine. I really like the 308 Winchester because I think it's a very inherently accurate cartridge, very easy cartridge to load for, hence the inherent accuracy. So many different bullet options and incredibly long barrel life. I don't know if you guys have noticed, one of my favorite things to do is to go weekly to the range and see what kind of accuracy I can get out of a lot of my Weatherby cartridges and rifles and others as well. I try to test a ton of things. And so I really feel like the 308 Winchester is a match made in heaven for me because I don't have to worry about barrel life. It's going to be accurate. I mean, if you know what you're doing and you have a decent rifle in 308 Winchester, you can easily get sub half them away. It's just an easy cartridge to load for. And it's a fun cartridge to shoot. It's not going to beat you up. And it does have, decent long-range capability. I understand there's a lot better tools for the long-range capability job. But man, this is just such a reliably good cartridge. It is not sexy by any means. And that's probably why I don't have one yet. But I've shot a lot of 308 Winchester. I've helped friends load for 308 Win. I just have a blast every time I shoot it. So one of these days, I'm getting one. The next cartridge on my wish list, some of you are going to be pretty confused because I do feature this cartridge quite a bit at the range. This is 30-06 Springfield. Yeah, I don't actually own one. I use my friends and my brothers. And I just have a lot of respect and love for the 30-06 Springfield. Maybe it started with when I first started shooting an M1 Garand, started learning about the history of the 30-06 with the U.S. military. And to be frank, there's that saying, you can basically do everything with the 30-06, and it's true. It really is. They are so versatile. It's the jack of all trades, of course, the master of none. And I understand its downsides. But it's just a great all-around cartridge for North American big game hunting. I mentioned I probably wouldn't ever hunt with the 308 Winchester, not that you can't do it, but I'd probably do a 30-06 over the 308 Winchester. I feel like it's just more versatile, has some more knockdown power for bigger game like elk. And I am going to do it. I am going to get a 30-06 one of these days. I think the 30-06 gets a lot of flack for not being a very accurate cartridge. I think that's a misunderstanding. I think the 30-06 can be an extremely accurate cartridge. And so if I were to get one, and eventually when I do, I'm going to get it in a reliable rifle. Something that I know is going to shoot well. And so you guys can see just the potential of a 30-06. And of course, I'd probably get it in a Tikka. And let me just say about the 30-06, as versatile it is, I really think it's at its best at 165 to 168 grain bullet for hunting big game. It's going to be going, depending on the barrel length, 2,900, maybe 3,000 feet per second if you're really pushing it in with a 24-inch barrel. And that's a lot. That's great performance. 180 grain, you're going to be limited to probably at most 2,800. And so for me, I think the sweet spot for the 30-06 is 165. You know, whether you're shooting a 168 grain TTSX, a 165 AccuBond, there's a lot of good options for the 165 grain. Let me know what you guys think. What is the perfect bullet weight for 30-06? I'll argue 165 all day. Last but certainly not least, we have the 280 Ackley Improved. I didn't really say this about the 30-06, but I feel like it was the jack of all trades for the 20th century. The 21st century jack of all trades is the 280 Ackley Improved. And it's based off a 30-06 case. Obviously, some changes. There's almost no taper in the case, and of course that really sharp 40-degree shoulder. Super sharp. Really cool, futuristic looking cartridge that's also extremely old. Nosler finally put it as a SAMI cartridge in, I think, 2009, around there. But this cartridge has been around a long time. It's just a modern and arguably a better version of a 30-06. I know some might go to the comments and say you're completely wrong. 30-06 can shoot heavier bullets. I understand. But you're getting a little more velocity and a little bit better BC using the same weight grain bullet and 280 Ackley Improved. So for me, you know, if I ever went away from Magnums, which I won't, don't worry guys, I won't. I think 280 Ackley Improved would be my choice for hunting for North America. It's just a really solid choice. The bullet weight I would choose for 280 Ackley Improved, and this I think the best bullet weight is a 160 grain. So whether you're talking 160 grain CX or 160 grain Barnes LRX or even a 160 AccuBond like what's in this, I think that's just perfect. You're going to see velocities, depending on your barrel length, 2,900, maybe 3,000 feet per second if you're pushing it hard. It's just a great all-around bullet weight for this case. I think it's relatively efficient, and obviously I would need a 1-in-8 twist to shoot the mono bullets. There you have it. These are my 3 non-Weatherby, non-Magnum cartridges that I really like and that I really want someday. So let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with my picks? What are 3 cartridges / rifles you really want in the future? Appreciate you guys watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Okay, here's the Remington 700. I think it has a 26-inch barrel, 308 Winchester. Pretty sweet gun. What we're loading up today, using IMR 4064 with the 175 grain Match King X. All right, not all one hole, but definitely pretty decent. Average velocity of 2685, an SD of 6.5. There it is. What looks to be a nice, definitely sub half MOA group.